All right, good morning. Welcome back out to the shop. It has been a while. Been super busy. I don't know if I let y'all know that I accepted a different position at my main job, so that's been keeping me super busy. And just life in general has been keeping everything busy. I needed to buckle down and get some stuff done here in the shop that needed to get done. Making these videos, I love doing it, but man, it takes some time to do them. You always got to be setting up a shot or making sure the lighting's right, or just anything, trying to clean up so it looks halfway decent. The table's a mess, everything's a mess in here. But I got the powder coating oven done. It's in the back part of the shop. We'll go back there in a minute and I'll show you that. Cleaned up the spray room. It much nicer. The powder coating process, should have switched to that years ago. The spray room was built intended when I sprayed furniture and cabinets, when I did mostly that. And then IKEA come along and kind of the custom cabinet thing went down. Still build a few pieces every now and again, but not like we used to. But the main focus I wanted to do is I needed to buckle down on getting my processes better for powder coating, or for finishing would be a better idea. So the finishing process, used to be, I'd paint it, you'd grind the welds, sandblast it, clean it, prime it, sand it, paint, sand, paint. And then that's what I used to do. So in between all that, if you've done any painting, you got to clean guns. You always got a 5-gallon bucket of lacquer thinner or acetone or something to clean stuff with. I did a little more research into powder coating, and that home powder coating is pretty simple. You can start out with the Eastwood gun, which is what I have. The dual voltage one, I'm probably going to upgrade pretty quick to that, to something else. I'll keep an eye out on eBay, not eBay, but local, somewhere local that might be having an auction that's selling off or whatever. I'll keep an eye out for something like that, or might just go ahead and invest in it and be done with it. I'm not one for buying I like old tools, don't get me wrong, but I'd rather have, if the price isn't a significant savings, then it's not worth it to me. But the other upgrades we did, the Eastwood cabinet. Y'all remember I did the foot pedal upgrade, where we upgraded from the standard Harbor Freight stuff to the Eastwood stuff. That's a great upgrade. The next upgrade was, I felt it wasn't getting the volume of air. I've got pressure, got a good air compressor, got a pretty good delivery system, but I necked it down to the 1/4-inch airline when it went inside. So what I did was hard piped it all the way with black iron, 1/2 inch from the compressor to the cabinet. Now, of course, I have my toilet paper filter dryer, collector, whatever you want to call it. Been using them for years, love them, never going to switch to anything better than that. And then I have, it regulated right there at the blast cabinet so we can regulate the air. And then what I didn't have was, once you did those upgrades, I didn't have a good way to get it cleaned out. The cabinet stayed full of, you just couldn't see. It stayed so full of dust you couldn't see. So back 20 years ago when I first started woodworking, probably 30 years ago, I bought my first dust collector. Was a Delta, this Delta trash can collector. It just sits on, it's just a dust collector with a cyclonic element in it that sucks the stuff in, it drops the heavy stuff and pushes out the air. So just like a vacuum cleaner works, but it's a big one. So what this does is it allows the blast cabinet to stay empty. The heavy aggregate falls and all the dust goes right out. So it's all plumbed in 4-inch PVC now, much quieter than even the vacuum was on it. If a shop vac makes a racket, and this one's noisy. It's just a different sound compared to what a vacuum cleaner is. That vacuum's got that high-pitched squeal, where this has just got that lower drone, if you've ever heard dust collectors go. And I mean, with it's got a 4-inch outlet in the back, and then a 4-inch suction, and even with that, it sucks them gloves straight out. So I'm thoroughly impressed with this so far. Very, very happy with the dust collector. The only thing I wish it was bigger. So that might be the next thing. We've got this, I just need bigger. So we're lucky we have Blasted All, which is a very, very major manufacturer of blast cabinets. They're right here in our hometown, so I'm going to run by there and talk to them and see what they got. I really like, which one is it? Is it Redline stands? The one that Jason Marburger has got from Fireball Tools, that one that he showed in his shop video. I really like it. It's one nozzle. It's pressure pot on the bottom of it. I really like the design. The clamshell door, I love that design. So it might be that we just get that. I don't need the dust collector part of it. I think I got that covered pretty good. But I do like the box design and all that. So we'll look into that. But I have a feeling that's going to be the next upgrade. And it might be that I get my brother, just buy the metal and have my brother weld the thing up. So we might just do that ourselves too. It all depends on, will this get me by until we can get one built? That kind of thing. Sometimes the time over money is, it negates all the gain that you're going to get by doing it yourself. But I did that. I got the powder coating oven in the back. It's finished, complete, working like a champ. Wish I'd have switched to powder coat, like I said, years ago. I ordered, I started out with, what was the name? Eastwood's powders, and very happy with it. I mean, this is the first piece that I shot. This is one coat of red, just sandblasted, blew off, and hung up and powder coated and dried. And I think we did that process in, it had to be less than 15 minutes, 20 minutes total. Took it out, hung it up, and then that was it. I've been beating on it with a hammer. I've been gouging it with a screwdriver, trying to get the finish to pop off. I'm very happy. I think I could have gone a little bit thicker with the powder. It looks like it's I don't want to say thin. It's not orange peel. It looks like you can still see the texture from the sandblasting. So I probably increased that. Pretty happy with the Eastwood gun. The very first thing I did was those modifications that everybody does with that little coupling on the end of it to get the powder to come out more of a foam or more of a cone. There's also a little modification you can do with the diffuser on the end. I might try that. I can't get it to stick on the lower setting. So I got to see what the deal is there. On the higher setting, it sticks no problem. So we'll just have to see. I know my ground system is good. I have 2 ground rods pounded 8 foot into the ground, 10 feet or 8 feet apart, with number 8 wire going into the spray room. It's probably the second rod's probably only 4 feet away. So I know I'm feel very confident I have good grounding. And we live in North Carolina with clay soil, and it's right on the drip line of the roof, so I know it's wet soil, or damp soil, I should say. So, but that's where I've been. The poor old Sydney lathe has just been sitting here. We're still going to get it done. I still have parts on the other end of the table that need to get done. And I really need it to get done because I'd rather use it than that little lathe to make all these little parts that I got. The hose rollers that we build is what's prompted all this change. That video mistakenly got published and it's really taken off. So I need to get hose rollers built. I think I have 12 orders ready to go, and I swore after that last time that I wasn't going to paint anymore. And I told everybody it would be July, and it's July, so I need to get them done. So I'm off this week. The plan is to knock out about 20 of them if I can, and get them done, boxed up, and ready to go. So that'll give me my 8 that I want to keep in stock at all the time. So that was my min-max that I wanted to keep. Minimum of 4, maximum of 8, and you build them as you need them. So we're going to do that. So I'm going to take you back to the back and let you look at the powder coating oven. I think it turned out pretty good for homemade. So it's 8,000 watt. A buddy of mine works for, he's an electrician and wires controls for kilns. So this was a little bit out of his, his ballpark, but he knocked it out. He did exactly what I wanted it to do. It gets to 400 degrees in about 15 minutes from dead nothing. Everything works. It's got safeties built into it. After you set the timer, when you get the timer done, it kicks off the oven. The fan stays running, but the elements turn off. So very, very satisfied with the results of the oven. So we tuned it the very first day. We did the PID tuning as soon as we got the control panel hooked up. And then yesterday I went ahead and I finally got a thermocouple for my multi-probe or my multimeter. So we put that in there. And then I also went and got 2 of those cheap oven thermometers and hung them up in different areas in there also. And they all read 400 degrees when we were done tuning it. So I had to adjust the PID, I don't know, 8 degrees or 11 degrees, something like that. Anyway, but it reads perfect now. So the thermocouple that's built into it, hooked to the PID, will now read exactly what it is if everything's hung up into the center. So let's go back there and I'll show you the powder cutting oven and the spray room. So I'll be right back. All right, so we're in the spray room. The first thing you can tell in here, if you're used to the front of the shop, is lights. These have high intensity fluorescence in here, which was great up until I switched everything to those bright white LEDs. So now you can see shadows like crazy in here. So I have some hung up. Let me plug that other set in and see if that helps. Nah, still shadowy. So definitely, I've ordered the lights to go back here. We're going to replace those fluorescents with those these high intent, or not high intensity, but these LEDs that I've been putting in through the rest of the shop. These things are great. Highly recommend them. $59 for 8 of them. You can link 6 of them together. Like I said, I did the front of the shop a couple years ago. Just got done doing the back of the shop, what, a month ago, 2 months ago? And would highly recommend these. Highly recommend them. Just don't link them together here with the link or with the coupler. Use the little stretchy cord in between it and give it a little slack, because these things do grow. The front of the shop, every once in a while, they'll grow and they'll cool, they'll grow and they'll cool, and then they'll unplug. The back of the shop, haven't had an issue since using the short extensions. But wanted to show you the spray room. So this is a room, it's, I don't know, 15 by 15 probably. It has air filter similar to this on the intake side. It has a large 4-foot by 6'8" door that you can bring material in and out of here. I built it mainly to spray cabinets. You can tell it's, you know, it's not that bad. It's pretty good shape. And it has an attic fan mounted here that you can buy for a house, but it's just mounted sideways. The shutters are in an old window. So with when you spray lacquers and stuff like that, you know, you need pretty good airflow. This one's 2-speed, and I found even the low setting kind of messes with the powder coating cloud. So it might be that I may have to build something else in here so I can spray a little bit further away from here, but still have it capture all the excess powder. So there's not a lot that goes through it, really. I've sprayed quite a few test pieces, and most of it sticks to the part. So this is the Eastwood setup that I have. I did have the ground hooked up to the other ground source, but somewhere they said don't do that. So I didn't do that. Just have one earth ground, or I should say one earth ground source. It's actually 2 ground rods that are outside. And then a number 8 wire that runs in, and it connects to this EMT conduit that runs apart, and it's got a rack across the top. So you can hang stuff from it. And I also have a ground rod or ground clamp that I can hook to the part if it needs to be. That's something I got to get used to, that dry powder. But anyway, don't touch it, blow it off. Right now, you know, it's working very good. This is what I used yesterday to tune or to adjust, to calibrate would be a better word, the thermocouple that's inside the oven now. So from here, I need to pan just to the right a little bit so you can see the oven. I've shown some pictures on Instagram, but I'll show you what it looks like. Let me just do this without trying to disturb the camera too much. I'll probably just cut to it. So this is the cabinet. It's 3 foot by 3 foot by 6 foot. More than enough for what I need. But if you're going to build one and you may do something more later on, you're better to just go ahead and do it. So as you can tell, it has a big old door on it. When you open it up, you can see all the elements that are in the bottom. There's 4 of those 2,000 watt elements in here. You can also see the tubes in the back, and that's for the fan. There's a fan that mounts on the top that, let me move this chair so the door stays open. There's a fan mounted, a high temperature fan that's mounted on the top, and it blows, it's a big convection oven, just circulates the air to keep no hot spots in the oven. So when you first start it, of course you power it on. When you power it on, you can probably hear that the fans kicked on. The fans kick on, they're on all the time. You don't have a choice with that. And then the PID powers up and the timer powers up. The PID is set for 400 degrees. So as soon as you can turn it on, and the power to the oven is on. If you want heat to the elements, you turn to heat. So there's a contactor in there that powers a solid state relay. The solid state relay tells it to send heat. So it'll go up until it reaches 400 degrees. Once it runs 400 degrees, we did have it where the oven temp would alarm, but it's almost a little annoying. So matter of fact, I'm gonna turn them elements off because I can already feel the heat coming out. So we just used it as an over temp alarm. So it's set, I forget what Jason set it at, but it's a little bit higher. So you have that alarm. The other alarm is when your cycle is complete. So once you put your parts in the oven, let them get to the 400 degrees. You got to have a little, infrared thermometer, of course, which it doesn't take long. Well, at least for the parts that I'm doing. The smaller parts, 5-6 minutes, and they're the temperature. Once they get the temperature, you start the timer, and the timer counts down to 10 minutes or the cure rate that's written on the package of powder that you're using. In my case so far, it's been 10 minutes. So I'll set it for 10 minutes. Once it gets down to the 10 minutes, I'm going to turn this on just so we simulate it here. Once it gets to the 10 minutes, it'll stop, and as soon as it stops, the heat turns off, and the complete light comes on, and it alerts you that your cycle is complete. And that'll just let you come out here. That'll just let you come out here to let you know that your parts are done. So if you push it again, of course, it stops the alarm, and it resets the elements. So if I'd have left the heat on, it would have turned the heat back on, and you're ready for your next cycle. Anytime during that, and you want to pause it, you can pause the cycle. So we just put that in there. I haven't had to use it yet. So either way, I don't know why you would use it. So once you have the door open or once you have the door shut and your parts to temperature, you shouldn't have to do that again. So let me stop that. You see how it stopped? You see how the elements aren't on? If I stop it again, the elements will turn on. Woohoo! Shouldn't have done that. So have to give a call to Jason. It'll restart the process. So let me turn that back off, and we're going to stop everything. Everything stopped, and we'll go ahead and power it down so it's less noisy. But that's the powder coating oven. So I don't know why the contactors click that hard like that. I have to get with Jason to find that out. He's the master electrician. So but that's what I've been doing. It's been a busy last couple months, and I just wanted to let y'all know that I'm still here, and we're still trying to get the stuff done. So I'll bring you along more and more. We do some more stuff like this. But until next time, see ya.